Magic. Magic.
Magic. Magic. Magic. Magic. Magic. Magic.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to 31 Days of Horror. I'm Morgan Film Fan. Let's jump into some scares. Magic Magic is a film that was released in 2013, and I just discovered this year. And Michael Cera and Juno Temple basically sold me on this one. And I watched the trailer a while ago, but I'd forgotten about it. So I basically forgot about the premise entirely. I just knew it was horror, adjacent, and I figured that it would be a good blind watch to watch during this 31 Days of Horror. Now, I must say that this one is certainly a lot more thriller than it is horror. So I picked a little bit wrong on this one because it's thriller, psychological drama, and then horror sprinkled out throughout. Now, there is horror in it, so it's not like it's totally absent of horror or anything like that. But it was good, and I did enjoy this one for what it was. And what we have going on here basically is this takes place in Chile. And these group of kids are vacationing. Juno Temple is the one that kind of is being brought in for the first time. It's her first time out of the United States. And her cousin is... Juno Temple's character is named Alicia, and then her cousin is named Sarah, and her cousin is played by Emily Browning. Emily Browning is famous for being the little girl in Ghost Ship. She was in Sucker Punch. She was the lead in that, and she's an absolutely stunningly beautiful girl from Australia that pops up in a lot of genre films and all kinds of different films here and there throughout the years. But they're cousins, and Sarah's bringing Alicia along to Chile with her boyfriend, this guy who lives in Chile, this Chilean guy, and Michael Cera, who's basically best friends with the Chilean guy and really good friends with Sarah as well. Michael Cera's character's name is Brink. And, okay. Let me start off by saying that I love Michael Cera and I think he's a phenomenal actor, but I have to say this is his worst performance. And it's probably not even him. It's probably the way he was directed. It's his character. His character is supposed to be annoying. His character is supposed to be creepy, awkward, and just really aggravating and like the type of guy that gets on your nerves. So if that's what the director wanted, then, who better to bring that kind of character out than Michael Cera? But throughout the entire picture, you want to slap Michael Cera in the face. And he speaks Spanish a lot, and good for him for speaking Spanish, but Jesus Christ, does he sound weird when he speaks Spanish. You can tell it's not his native language. You can tell he probably just learned it for the film. And he is just aggravating as all fuck. And it's kind of funny, but it really does get on your nerves a lot. But the film is basically just Alicia going through culture shock, and she's really having a hard time adjusting to this new environment, this new location, and she's really getting the creeps from especially the two guys played by Michael Cera, and I don't know the actor who played the Chilean guy. She's not really fitting in. She's not really adjusting. There's this other character too, this female character named Barbara. Maybe that's who Catalina is. And Barbara is always kind of clashing with Alicia as well. And you can tell she's starting to lose it a lot. And psychosis is starting to kind of play a part. And in my opinion, it's not... See... Michael Cera and the Chilean guy are not really doing anything super extreme to the point where they seem dangerous at any point, in my opinion. Like they overstep their boundaries all the time. They have zero sympathy when it comes to making sure this girl's comfortable, making sure this girl feels safe. They don't give a fuck. They're just there to have fun, and they go shoot birds, and Alicia tells Brink not to shoot the bird, and he does anyway, and she gets upset about that. And then there's this whole scene involving like jumping into like off a cliff into water, and Alicia's petrified of doing so, but they're egging her on and like telling her that she's being boring and that she's bringing everybody else down. So they're really not helping her mental state at all, and it starts to escalate a lot in the sense where it just starts to get worse, and then she starts to depend on medication, and this is where like this film is very heavily psychological, and you see this girl slowly break down, and you don't really, there's not really a villain per se. The biggest flaw that Michael Cera's character Brink and the Chilean guy have is that they're ignorant. They're complete ignorant fools, and they're stupid. They're fucking ignorant bastards. They're not necessarily evil. Like, this is not like one of those films where these people turn evil and then they're after, and then it becomes a cat and mouse thing. No, it's nothing like that. It's just this girl who's in this situation where she's extremely uncomfortable in, and nobody's taking her seriously, and nobody's caring about her, how she feels, and she just starts to lose her mind really slowly, and it's sad to see. Now, everybody's performances are great. I really liked Emily Browning, who plays Sarah in this film. She's the most caring of them all, but she's also kind of just lost in what's going on. Like, she doesn't really understand the grave danger of the situation. Like, she doesn't understand the impacts. I can't find the word right now. How heavy the situation actually is. She doesn't realize it, but she's really sweet, and she's the only one who actually legitimately cares about Alicia, her cousin. And the only thing that really pissed me off about this film is that it has an abrupt ending, and it doesn't explain anything. It just ends, and you don't get a conclusion. It just, the film just like barely makes it through its climax, and then it just ends. And a lot of people like that. I read some other people's reviews on the film, and kind of their takes on it and how they felt about it, and they liked it a lot more than I did. But I think this film could have used another at least 2 minutes to explain some things, but it doesn't give you that. It just gives you the where things go, and then it just leaves you there. So I didn't think a film like this merited an ending like that, but everything that led up to it, I liked the psychological aspects of it, and I liked the subtle horror that is in this kind of film. So not necessarily the best Halloween film per se, but it's definitely a great psychological horror thriller that I had a really good time with. And there's cool performances all throughout. Like I said, Michael Cera's a little rough around the edges, but I think, well, I know that his character is supposed to be that way, so I can't say he's a bad actor or anything like that. But my God, like, it took some patience with that guy, and the whole time the way he's treating Alicia too. It's just like, what's wrong with you? He's supposed to be her love interest. Like, they're supposed to be on a date together here, and he's just treating her like, like a puppy dog. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, smarten up, girl. Like, whatever. There's a scene too, during one of her like sleepwalking, psychotic, medicated states where she's like doesn't know what she's doing. She goes to Michael Cera's room and she puts her crotch in his face, and then the next day Michael Cera's character Brink goes up to Alicia and like grabs her and starts kissing her and grabbing her pussy, and then she's like, get away from me, because she doesn't remember doing anything the night before. And Michael Cera, like, the way he delivers this line is just made me fucking howl. He's just like, next time you want your pussy eaten, why don't you just tell me? I like pussy. He says it just like that. It's It's that kind of performance, all right? That's what you're going to get from Michael Cera in this kind of film. So, or in this film in general. So expect that, and expect some laughs, and definitely for him to get on your nerves. But I enjoyed Magic for what it was. Like I said, it's extremely psychological. It's, I don't know, for my 31 Days of Horror, I like to stick to more like supernatural stuff when it comes to spooky season. I like to kind of stay away from the grounded stuff, and this is definitely one, like a more grounded horror film. But it was still a good horror film nonetheless, horror thriller, psychological thriller, whatever you want to call it. And it was good. It was good for what it was. It was very enjoyable. And it plays on the psychological aspect really well, so I appreciated that. So that's Magic. That's another 31 Days of Horror down, and plenty more to come. So stay tuned for those. Keep things spooky until next 31 Days of Horror review. Subscribe to Morgan Film Fan to check out some more, check out what's come before, and until next one, cheers.